Hello, everybody. I am the Orca Theory, and I am back for another episode of Dark Souls 3. Really don't think we have much left to do here. So let's head straight back to the undead settlement. We are gonna actually... let's go to the cliff underside. Going to the cliff underside bonfire, actually gives us access to a couple of different areas in the undead settlement, but from the back way. If you go through it just kind of at the normal progression, the traps there are a lot harder to see and anticipate and just generally deal with. Coming at it from this side makes it a ton easier. So we are going to head up here first, because we have an NPC to unlock and a ring to get. We don't actually have to have the ring. Oh shit. That was bad. That was real bad. Okay. Well, good start to the episode. Let's talk to you, bud.
Aha, unkindled, are we?
Yes.
Welcome to my abode.
What a lovely home you have here.
I am Cornix, an old pyromancer. A crow in his cage, as you see now. But here we are.
Crow in his cage.
For the ages. I hear the unkindled make for fine vessels.
Yeah.
Care to learn some pyromancies from this old man?
I do, actually. I'd like to learn some pyromancies.
Most wise. A chance encounter should not be squandered. To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
Great. And then he just goes back. So, unlike Grey Rat, who was definitely trapped in a prison cell, this doesn't seem all that much like a prison cell to this guy. He calls it his home, meaning that he has probably been living in the undead settlement for a fair clip. I also find it interesting that he wears crow feathers. Crows are heavily associated with the goddess Velka, the goddess of sin from Dark Souls 1. A heavy figure in that lore, if the tales are to be believed. So the fact that a great pyromancer from the Great Swamp is wearing clothes garbs, that's no small thing. There we go. I'm playing super sloppy right now. I'm not entirely sure why. So we gotta get that ring. Soul of an unknown soldier. Yeah, there actually is a ring down here. I believe it's the fire clutch ring. Let's give you a good swipe. Yeah, the fire clutch ring. What this does is this will boost our pyromancies. But we'll also take additional damage from fire. Increases fire attack but compromises damage absorption. An old fable in Londor claims that the lure of the clutch ring reaches out to the crestfallen, who might otherwise be overcome by despair. Londor, as we talked about, is a realm of hollows, heavily associated with Kath, the serpent from Dark Souls 1. The design on this is very interesting too. The clutch rings basically all do the same thing. They raise the attack on some stat while compromising, as it says, damage absorption in another. I love this design though. It looks like a claw grabbing at a little ruby there. The ruby probably being the fire augment. We never took a look at the blue tearstone ring. We got this from Grey Rat to give to Loretta, which went really sour. A ring set with a large rare tearstone jewel. Temporarily boosts damage absorption when HP is low. This stone is said to be a tear of sorrow of the goddess Keitha, and of course, tears are always more beautiful near death. Very, very cool. What this does is that as your HP hits a certain threshold, I think it's 20%, it might actually be 15, it'll boost your defense. So we're actually going to equip that. We're not going to equip the fire clutch ring. I have no intention of really using pyromancies in this run. And even still, what I would be using pyromancies for is more of a distraction rather than a main attack power, so I'd really rather just not use that. Take care of you guys. Okay. So what we are going to do is, there is actually a lovely little ambush set up here. One of the followers of the Church of the Deep, those fat women there, she's wandering around. I think she's already walked that way. So we really only have to attend with a couple of dogs. And this guy's coming for us. Before he gets here. Come on, bud. Gotcha. And here's our pupper friend. Gotcha. Okay. And then there should be actually another one right in here. Good. Just kind of stagger through the damage. Okay, so we want to head down into here. Boop, boop, boop. And let's see. We got a couple of rats, but these guys aren't the real big issue. Okay. Wasn't sure if I was going to take both of them out. Still getting used to the range on this claymore. That fog is rightfully a little bit weird. There's actually a giant rat hidden in there, and you could just lure him out by giving him the old firebomb treatment. Got the blood bite ring from him. We actually have a couple more dudes in here. A couple of smaller rats. Great. Once we climb up, should be a ladder over here. Correct. We will take a look at the bite rings. The bite rings come from Kareem, and they are very, very interesting. Where we go? Blood bite. Increases blood resistance. The crafting of these rings is forbidden, perhaps owing to a fear of malleable stone. Ooh. Clerics, however, dabble freely in the art. There's a lot of Kareem in the Undead Settlement. One of the weapons that you can forge from the boss of this area is, in fact, Earl Arstor of Kareem, who was the one that commissioned the bite rings in the first place, if you follow Dark Souls lore at all. Not sure what the connection might be of Kareem to here. If this might be where Kareem once stood, would make sense. All the old lands, Kareem and Thurland and all those places, they did all eventually fall to the undead curse in one way or another. So it wouldn't surprise me if this might actually just be Kareem in the far future. There's actually very different architectures here. You see kind of the ramshackle houses and huts with the wooden bridges, and then you look off in the distance and there's some very, very nice cathedral settings. And then, not to say anything of the tower where the giant is shooting from. Very, very, very interesting stuff. And here we go. I've been waiting for this guy. So this is our first invasion. This is an NPC invasion. You can see him crawling along here. This is actually one of the new covenants for this game. The purple guys, what they can do is they can invade or help whoever's world they're in. This guy is choosing to be hostile to me, but if you see a purple summon sign and you invite them in, they can hurt you just as easily as they can help you. It's actually a lot of fun to do that. Just gotta be careful with him, and he can heal. Gotta be careful. And he can't give himself power within. Can I push you off the edge? Nope. Almost had a chance. Let him heal up. He put warmth on. Warmth is a healing spell for pyromancies, where it essentially just hangs out there, and if he goes near it, he gets healed. Let's see. And you can see him trying to parry me too. The NPC AI has gotten so good since Dark Souls 1. Got him. Alright. So that did not help him at all. And we get a vertebra shackle from him. That is the covenant item for that covenant. So, okay, we're gonna head this way. Now, this is where that young white branch will actually help us out a little bit. The giant on the tower shooting those arrows, he shoots them at things that are hostile to him. And he only shoots at locations that have a very particular tree there. If you carry one of these branches, he will see you as an ally, and his arrows will not damage you, so that's kind of cool. I love the design on those guys. I absolutely love that. Okay. So as you'll see, yeah, and this is your hint right here. This is Dark Souls to a T. Putting the hint before the danger. You see all the arrows here into the shack against the gravestones. That's your hint that something's about to happen. Now, he will not be firing on me. But he will be firing on those guys. And all you have to do is have a young white branch. You can actually run here, and you see a lot of these items are actually just young white branches that have fallen off of this tree. But this is the tree that he is trying to protect, or something. The connection there is a little fluid, but... Alright. Sucker. There's a young white branch right there. Reinforced club. A couple of different items that you can pick up. The important one we want to grab is over there, so let's go do that. Okay. The undead bone shard. This will not increase the amount of Estus that we have, but it will increase the potency of it. Essentially meaning that one swig will restore more life, so. Fading soul, ember, young white branch, and another young white branch, okay. And up top here, there's more items to be had, so let's go explore a little bit. Very clearly a graveyard, and so it won't surprise us when we find this next item. Now, take a look very carefully. Do you see him? That waving on the top of that house, that is in fact an enemy waiting in ambush. And those guys love the ambush. And this is one of the stronger ones as well, so just gotta be careful with him. He's got more HP. And here is the cleric set. Kind of a nice thing about Dark Souls. The classes that you start with don't really matter. They're just starting stats for you to work around with. Here's the Mortician's Ashes. The Mortician being the guy or girl who put these people in the grave, most likely. But yeah, about the starting classes, no matter what you choose, eventually you can find the complete sets. So like right here we just found the cleric set. Later on we'll find the mage's set, the wanderer's set, the swordsman set, whatever they're calling it in this game. Very, very cool because there's some story there as well. They always put them in locations that are very important. So we find the cleric set here in the graveyard. We know that the Cathedral of the Deep is in here, and what is that connection between the cleric, the Cathedral of the Deep, and the undead settlement? Up to speculation, right? So let's take a moment and read the Mortician's Ashes. There we go. Mortician's Ashes. Shrine Handmaid will prepare a new item. So you give this to the Shrine Handmaid, she'll have new items to give you. Umbral Ash of a resident of the undead settlement who made a living burying corpses. So we find it in a graveyard. With this, the Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. Not a lot of lore, just kind of cool. Alright. So the giant is firing from that tower up there. You see it. Can't quite see him. He's kind of blending in there, but you could actually watch him fire on everybody. He didn't quite get everyone. Whoop! He did just fire though. The arrow coming in. Let's see. Is it not gonna fly in? I heard the pull of the bowstring, so take out this guy. This is kind of cool. The dudes with the red eyes, you see his eyes are glowing. There's a couple of them throughout the game. They're just typically tougher enemies. Nothing real of note to mention there, just besides that they're tougher. I completely missed this item the first time I went through this game, so I want to make sure to grab it now. I'm not going to be using it, but one of the first notable weapons that you can grab in this game, the Great Scythe. Let's actually take a look at that. We can't use it properly because our dex requirements aren't up to snuff, but Attacks with this large scythe, normally used for crop harvesting, are effective at breaking past shields. So it does a little bit more damage when a shield is up. The magnificent sharp curved blade instills fear in opponents. Perhaps it is their survival instinct at work. So let's just take a look at it real quick. Very, very cool. Very, very long weapon, and it's got a couple nice sweeping attacks. Weapon arts. Nice long spin. Very, very cool weapon. There's actually a number of scythes in this game. That's not the only one. There's the Corvian scythe. I think there's a Irithyll scythe. I think lots of cool scythes in these games now. So now we can open this from this side. Before, when I came through, I avoided going up here because I knew you can't open this door from that direction. But now what this does is this brings us down to that same area that we came down. That's where we fought those dudes up on the house. That's where we get the fire clutch ring. We swooped down to there, crossed around the back side of that little mountain there to get to where we fought, what's his face? Mad Knight Hodrick. But now we need to make a couple more U-turns here. If I continue going through here, this will bring me to the boss of the area, and I'm not quite ready. You can actually see the boss. It's that giant tree hanging out in the corner there. You can see it breathing. A bunch of people are praying to it. We'll come back to him. We've got a little bit more business left here to do. Like this one. That spell, if it hits you, will cause you to bleed. Give me a nice smack. Oh, I love this claymore. I'm used to going at her with like a longsword. And we got her gloves, the evangelist. Okay. And then we just got one more dude with a hammer. I think there's a doggo around the corner. Yeah, there is. Okay. Oh, these guys are so quick. Got him. And he rolls off into there. Okay. So we get the Ember. Basically the equivalent of humanity in this game. Different implications, because humanity is actually pieces of the dark soul, whereas embers are hard. They're hard to judge. Perhaps pieces of those that light the fire. Perhaps. Actually, you know what? Let's take a moment. Let's take a look at that item description. No unkindled can ever truly claim the embers that burn within a champion's bosom, which is precisely what makes their yearning for warmth so keen. Gain the strength of flame and increase max HP until death. So it gives you some dumps there about the mechanics. With the strength of fire, the summoning signs of unkindled become visible. The seekers of embers can be summoned to join in cooperation, but beware, the embers may also attract invaders. So if you are embered, which we currently are, you can see the red glow under our armor. That means we're embered. That means that we can be invaded and we can summon co-op partners, so. Let's see if we can draw these guys out one at a time. Ooh! I am not doing well with reading attacks. Just top off here. So we're gonna try to draw this guy out before we draw any of the others. Oh, did not work. Let's see if we can get him to, because sometimes he will fall off the bridge. And he did not. Why? What? Doggo? I already killed you. Oh, I rested at the bonfire. Let's get out of this situation. Right click. Oh. Whew. You coming down? Oh man, this got real sticky. And you can see the bleed build up on me. That grating saw. Oh. Luckily, these guys stagger very easily, but I am very close to bleeding out here. Okay. One down. And actually, I think we'll just fuck out of here. I am not handling this well. Can you climb up the stairs? You cannot. Great. That's actually a handy little tech if you just want to completely avoid those guys. We can deal with them. I believe there's a alluring skull item around the backside of this building. I am not into that. The alluring skulls in this game in particular aren't as effective, I have found. There's far fewer enemies that will be affected by it, so...
Another one of those unkindled, are you?
Check out this guy's armor.
All you
very, very cool.
faceless
Gargoyle-esque.
undead, behaving as if you deserve respect.
This is a Demon Soul callback to...
Heed my words.
Oh, what's her face? Made in
If you've any
Estrella?
sense, you go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You, here, in this land of hollows. You're like a frail maiden on the front lines.
Yeah, actually. I am
If,
a
like
frail
the
maiden.
others,
Did you
you're
just see
fool
that
enough to
fight
play
that
the
took place
champion.
like 20 feet to your right?
Then go on ahead. Traipse right past the abandoned church. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty.
Damn right it
Enough
won't.
death to leave you broken. Time after time. Yeah.
That's a cynic. So this is what I was talking about, the changes in architecture. Actually, this is good here. You can see off in the distance the architecture of the normal undead settlement. Stuff that's been there probably less length of time than what's here right now. This architecture is actually very reminiscent of stuff that we would have seen in Dark Souls 1. The flying buttresses up top and all that. Makes me think that pieces of this land are actually far older than other parts. No concrete proof, that's just rough speculation, so don't chew my head off for it, but that's just my thoughts. So we are headed into here. Not sure why there was a fog gate. That's weird. I'm not sure if maybe I triggered the boss, and that's why that's there, but... That's bizarre. I've never actually seen that. And here we go! Seek Bro! What's up, bud? Good combo.
Oh. Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegward of Katarina. To be honest,
Siegward.
I'm in a bit of a pickle.
My God.
Have you ever walked near a white birch only to be struck by a great arrow? Well,
Not me.
if I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower.
You are not mistaken, as a matter of
Whoever
fact.
it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up, and that's just the trouble. This lift only goes down, you see, and... Well, that doesn't get me anywhere.
So this is a dumb puzzle. Dumb because they give you the answer right away. I was perplexed by this fog door, but otherwise, if you come in here, the elevator's already on its way up because Siegward here is trying to get to the top of the tower, so he took the elevator down and back up. But you see there's actually another platform, so this is just dumb. They've actually pulled that trick a few times with Dark Souls. Activate the elevator, let it go all the way down, and you see that another platform comes right along. And this one will bring you to the top. So, and I have to make note, because I forget exactly where. So, okay, so it's about there. On the way back down, we're going to try to get down there. So here we are at the top of the tower. And there's our giant friend. Pretty much the exact same model as the giants from Sen's Fortress in Dark Souls 1. Virtually the same. Obviously a little bit more detailed because we're 3 games in. But this guy's been through some stuff. He's got a lot of, like, bolts in his leg. meaning he was probably chained up somewhere. And he's got a good vantage point. He could see well over the undead settlement. He was firing down, let's see. Firing down into, that's that area. And you could actually see the demon prowling over there. But he was firing off into that location-ish. But he's got a good vantage point all the way around. You can see over there, there are the 3 towers from the Farron Woods that we're going to have to be dealing with. Here is the Cathedral of the Deep area. So all he has to do is just switch his viewpoint here, and he can actually see all the different locations we are going to have to be going through. God, that Cathedral of the Deep. That is massive. That is massive. Okay. Well, first, we're going to talk to him. He doesn't have much to say.
I help anytime.
Yeah, he help anytime. If you talk to him without the white branch, he'll ask if you're a friend, and you just confirm it with him, and there you go. He'll give you a white branch, and everything will be good. We're gonna end this episode here. I've spent enough time wandering around and dicking around. The next time I see you all, we will actually be heading down to fight the demon, and then we'll be giving you the 1-2 boss special. Going and trying to fight the Cursed Greatwood. But I want to leave today's episode looking up at Lothric Castle. We have descended from there and gone all the way down to that set of archstones over there, and then we've come through the undead settlement, and now we are at the top of this tower. We are making our way through this game. In the meantime, I'm going to take a break. I am the Orca Theory, and I thank you for following along. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the support. Bye-bye.